We have an update about that second strike on the Caribbean boat. Pete Hegseth is now under investigation for war crimes. So I covered this in another video. So please check out that video if you haven't seen that yet, because this is the update. So now Donald Trump, he had this press conference. He made an announcement today. It is very appalling what is being said. I want to ask again, how low can you go? They are now openly admitting that, yes, there was a second strike. This is coming from Caroline Levitt. Check this out. I'm going to show you what Trump said earlier today. The White House confirmed second strike on the drug boat was deliberate. This is not good. War crimes, ladies and gents.
Caroline, excuse me, regarding Venezuela, the president said yesterday that Secretary Hegseth had denied that second strike, that reported second strike on an alleged drug boat on September 2nd, the secretary said to the president that didn't happen. But to clarify, I just wanted you to clear this up. In his social media post, Secretary Hegseth didn't go into details about that strike. He just said U.S. operations in the area were lawful, and he said that the story and media reports were fabricated. So to be clear, does the administration deny that second strike happened, or did it happen and the administration denies that Secretary Hegseth gave the order?
The latter is true, Abe, and I have a statement to read for you here. President Trump and Secretary Hegseth have made it clear that presidentially designated narco-terrorist groups are subject to lethal targeting in accordance with the laws of war. With respect to the strikes in question on September 2nd, Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes.
Pause. So they are confirming that, yes, those strikes were conducted. We knew about the first one. Now there is a second one. Pete Hegseth was denying that he said kill them all. I think he did say that. I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it real. The U.S. can be ruthless and dirty towards other countries. The reality is they had no evidence that this was a drug boat or not. From what I read and what I'm learning about this, that was not a drug boat. They are basically saying kill them all. People in the Caribbean have a right to get in a boat and to fish, and they are just going after anybody. Now you see the same type of viciousness that comes from the IDF and how they attack the Palestinian people. And now you see the same thing happening here with the U.S. government. So like I said, they move in one accord. They don't care. Pete Hegseth told them to kill them all. Those are war crimes. And yes, there does need to be an investigation. And honestly, he should be on trial. Let's continue. It gets worse when you see what Donald Trump said at the announcement today.
Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law, directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed and the threat to the United States of America was eliminated. And I would just add one more point to remind the American public why these lethal strikes are taking place. Because this administration has designated these narco-terrorists as foreign terrorist organizations. The president has a right to take them out if they are threatening the United States of America, and if they are bringing illegal narcotics that are killing our citizens at a record rate, which is what they are doing. And under the previous administration, there was enough fentanyl trafficked into our country to kill every American man, woman, and child many times over. And so that's why you've seen a drastic difference in this administration's policy with respect to the last. And it's one of the many reasons the American public reelected this president and support this Secretary of War in conducting these strikes.
Ladies and gentlemen, no, he does not have the right to do that. Two, we all know, those of us who have been paying attention, we know this is about the oil in Venezuela, right? So Donald Trump has gone on record and made this very public. The drug issue here is an excuse. This is not to say that there haven't been drugs from Venezuela, but that's not what this is really about. Donald Trump just pardoned a former president of Honduras, Juan Hernandez, just the other day, a real narco. So it was never about the drugs. He just pardoned a guy who trafficked cocaine into the United States. So I don't understand how people can fall for something that is just, if you pay attention, you'll see it. Now, listen to what Pete Hegseth is saying. This is a very incompetent administration. I have to tell you guys, this is why I think Democrats are poised to win in 2028. This administration is very incompetent. Pete Hegseth was not qualified for this position from the get-go. Donald Trump was just putting people into positions, that really should not have been there. You guys have seen what Kash Patel has been an utter disaster. Utter disaster. You see what is happening with Pete Hegseth. Listen to what he said earlier today.
Watch that first strike lot. As you can imagine, at the Department of War, we got a lot of things to do. So I didn't stick around for the hour and 2 hours, whatever, where all the sensitive site exploitation digitally occurs. So I moved on to my next meeting.
So he tells you that he didn't even see it. He didn't even see the second strike that he ordered. How low can you go, Pete? I just moved on to something else. I mean, they renamed the Department of War. And Donald Trump is walking around saying that he is a peace president. I just don't know how much longer people can be fooled by the okie doke when this is all happening right in front of them. And I think a big part of it is people really want to have a savior. They look to these politicians as heroes and they idolize them and they think they can do no wrong. So even when they do something wrong, they have to trick themselves and twist themselves into a pretzel to convince themselves like what they're doing is really right because of this, that, and this. And they end up breakdancing around here.
A couple of hours later, I learned that commander had made which he had the complete authority to do. And by the way, Admiral Bradley made the correct decision to ultimately sink the boat and eliminate the threat. He sunk the boat, and eliminated the threat. And it was the right call. We have his back, and the American people are safer because narco-terrorists know you can't bring drugs through the water and eventually on land if necessary.
You guys just pardoned a real narco. This is absolutely insane. I feel like I am looking at Dumb and Dumber. You know what I mean? Somebody, SNL, somebody make a skit out of this. Because this is wild. It's just insane. It's buffoonery. No wonder people laugh at us. I get it now. I get it.
To the American people, we will eliminate that threat, and we're proud to do it.
So you didn't see any survivors, to be clear, after that first strike? You personally?
I did not personally see survivors, but I stand, because the thing was on fire. It was exploded and fire and smoke. You can't see anything. You got digital. This is called the fog of war. This is what you in the press don't understand. You sit in your air-conditioned offices or up on Capitol Hill and you nitpick and you plant fake stories in the Washington Post about kill everybody, phrases on anonymous sources not based in anything, not based in any truth at all. And then you want to throw out really irresponsible terms about American heroes, about the judgment that they made. I wrote a whole book on this topic because of what politicians and the press does to warfighters. President Trump has empowered commanders to do what is necessary, which is dark and difficult things in the dead of night on behalf of the American people. We support them, and we will stop the poisoning of the American people.
And Mr. Secretary, on the second strike, you said it happened more than an hour after the first. Did I hear it correctly?
I couldn't tell you the exact amount of time.
You went off the room, is what you're saying.
I already stated my answer quite clearly.
This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Donald Trump looked like he half asleep. And it's just, guys, they are openly committing war crimes. This is not the Bush years. This is not George W. Bush's administration. Okay? We have social media. We have smartphones now. People know what's going on. Okay? So this isn't the whole, they had weapons of mass destruction and you just believe what they say because we can't check for ourselves with our smartphones, etc. This is not that time anymore. People know what's going on. The majority of Americans are against Donald Trump going to war with Venezuela on both sides of the aisle. So this is very unpopular. He goes on to say that he will strike other countries. What did I tell you? That he was waging an all-out war on Latin America. So the whole false fake peace deal with Gaza, because Israel just killed 2 Palestinian brothers the other day. They're still killing people, starving people in Gaza. That was just to get your focus away from that so he can start war somewhere else. in Latin America.
You just mentioned potential land strikes. Can you elaborate anything on that? Are you talking
Yeah,
about
I'll elaborate.
specifically?
If they come in through a certain country or any country, or if we think they're building mills for whether it's fentanyl or cocaine. I hear Colombia, the country of Colombia, is making cocaine. They have cocaine manufacturing plants, okay? And then they sell us their cocaine. We appreciate that very much. But yeah, anybody that's doing that and selling it into our country is subject to attack.
So not necessarily just Venezuela.
No, not just Venezuela, no. Venezuela's been very bad. Venezuela's been really bad in something else, probably worse than most, but a lot of other people do it too. They would send murderers into our country. They would empty their jails into our country. They send people into our country that we don't want. They sent their drug dealers and their drug people into our country. They sent people from their mental institutions into our country, and we're getting them out. That was bad. That was real bad. And they also sent drugs. Yeah.
Guys, this is really bad. First of all, you can't just go attack other countries like that. Like this is not legal, what he is doing. Oh yeah, we'll just go after them too. Oh, and by the way, if this was really about drugs like he says it is, well, the biggest drug dealer in the United States is Big Pharma. Last time I checked, the Sackler family is living free. Don't see Donald Trump trying to take them down. Oh no, because they're in the same class. Those are his rich buddies. Rich buddies. Meanwhile, Nicolas Maduro is apparently not afraid. Not afraid at all. A fiery speech from Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro moments ago, openly challenging Washington. Venezuela has reached the highest level of national unity. The people across all political backgrounds reject any military threat and are ready to defend the homeland if necessary. We are preparing to defend our land, our sovereignty, and our dignity, and to ensure future generations live in a free nation. We do not interfere with anyone's affairs, and others must stop interfering in Venezuela's. This is Maduro here. I think he did a little dance too.
Nicolás, eat the peace. Nicolás, eat the peace. Mira la changa esa, no tiene la changa. ¿Te han visto la changa? Peace, forever, forever, forever. Decirle al pueblo de Estados Unidos, no a la guerra. No queremos una guerra en el Caribe ni en Sudamérica. No. Not war. Yes, peace. No a la guerra loca. No crazy war. No. ¿Cómo se dice en inglés? Please, please, please. Yes, peace.
Hey!
Yes, peace.
He's just dancing, having a good time. He's like cha-cha, real smooth. Slide to the left, slide to the right, reverse. Everybody clap your hands. How low can you go? Can you go down low? How low can you go? Can you take it to the flow? Clap, 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 clap your hands. Anyway, Nicolas Maduro is not afraid at all. And honestly, this is the thing. Like, you can't just continue to come in, steal people's land, take their resources. Donald Trump said he wants the oil. That's really what this is about. And expect these people not to fight back. What is wrong with you? Even Marjorie Taylor Greene, because he is facing criticism from both sides on this. Marjorie Taylor Greene said, fix health insurance, not regime change in Venezuela. Oh. That's from Marjorie Taylor Greene. On the other hand, Hakeem Jeffries says, don't expect House Democrats to pursue Pete Hegseth impeachment. Because after everything that you just saw about them acknowledging that second strike happened, Hakeem Jeffries is like, yeah, I know he committed war crimes, but oh well. This is why I say Hakeem should leave Congress. I think Hakeem should be challenged. For all the people who are fighting against that, to me, let's go to part 3, Corey. All the people who are fighting against that, to me, it seems like to me that you don't really want any type of change. He fights harder against Zoran Mondami than he did against the Republican Party. And now you got Chuck Schumer trying to implement this strategy here, the War Powers Resolution. So again, this is bipartisan. People are not in favor of this conflict.
I want to ask you about today's Oval Office meeting about potential U.S. military action against Venezuela. You have warned that senators will force another vote under the War Powers Act to block military action in Venezuela if Trump goes any further. Are you hearing privately from any Republican senators who might be concerned about military action against Venezuela? Tell us more.
First, the bill is bipartisan. It's Rand Paul, Tim Kaine, myself, and I think now Senator Schiff. And we are hearing in this area, there are a lot of Republicans who are troubled. Frankly, there are Republicans who don't have faith in Hegseth and in what is going on there as well. And so we are seeing, first time, some of our key Republicans who are defense hawks really worried about what the administration is doing in both the Caribbean and in Venezuela.
I want to ask you about today.
So here's the thing. This is something that, and this is what I said about Democrats playing defense instead of offense. The Democratic Party can do this right now. Chuck Schumer can do this right now. This War Powers Resolution, he can bring it to the floor right now and force the vote, especially since it has bipartisan support. This whole idea of, well, if Trump does this, then we're going to why don't you get the jump on it and do it before Trump even thinks about going into Venezuela or sending troops to Venezuela? Why do you wait to let Trump do things and then try to respond? Because see, this could not be me. This could not be me. Oh man, I know this guy is just going around doing whatever the hell he wants to do. But I'm actually going to sit back and wait and see if he takes this next action, and then I'll respond. What? This is what I meant about the ineffectiveness. If they actually wanted to do something about it, he could do that right now and force the vote. But we know they're allergic to forcing the vote. We know that one, don't we? Could have been done. Could have been done. Megyn Kelly feels a little bit differently about all this. She's kind of lost her damn mind ever since she made that comment about the 15-year-old not being a big deal.
So I really do kind of not only want to see them killed in the water, whether they're on the boat or in the water, but I'd really like to see them suffer. So I really do kind of not only want to see them killed in the water, whether they're on the boat or in the water, but I'd really like to see them suffer. I would like Trump and Hegseth to make it last a long time so that they lose a limb and bleed out a little. Like, I'm really having a difficult time ginning up sympathy for these guys who 10 seconds earlier almost got taken out by the initial.
Isn't this the same woman who was talking about no political violence? You know, I don't know what the hell happened to Megyn Kelly, but she went from, complaining about sexual harassment at Fox News, years ago to, well, I mean, if these girls Epstein was with was 15, just 15, that's different than like 12. To now saying that she wants all those people to be killed in the Caribbean that are on those boats. So much for guilty until proven innocent, or innocent until proven guilty. Wild stuff. Like, why anything to defend like your party? It's wildly unpopular. Americans overwhelmingly oppose regime change intervention in Venezuela. 63% Republicans, 69% men, 71% Hispanics, 74% millennials, 74% Gen Z, 75% white, 79% boomers, 79% independents, 82% women, 86% blacks, and 76% of all Americans oppose it. This is a killer for Trump's administration. The majority of Americans don't want this. And in fact, Tulsi Gabbard, back in the day, when she was running for president in 2020, in 2019, Tulsi Gabbard warned people what would happen if you have these interventions in Venezuela. This is the old Tulsi.
Here now exclusively, Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii, a combat veteran and 2020 Democratic presidential candidate. What's your reaction to that? You heard Kellyanne Conway, counselor to the president there.
What we are hearing is an increased saber-rattling intention saying the United States needs to send in the U.S. military now to wage yet another wasteful, counterproductive regime change war. And once again, it's being done under the guise of humanitarianism. When we look throughout history, every time the United States goes into another country and topples a dictator or topples a government, the outcome has been disastrous for the people in these countries. That's why we should use our leadership in the world to try to broker a diplomatic solution, working with countries like Russia that have great influence over Venezuela so that there is a peaceful outcome. Because I can tell you as a soldier, Martha, I've seen firsthand the high cost of war, and pushing for this civil war, pushing for the use of military force will only end up with more suffering and death and disaster for the Venezuelan people. What to speak of increasing these tensions that threaten our own national security. Anytime we're in this situation where you have tensions being ratcheted up and this conflict being pushed closer and closer between nuclear armed countries like the United States and countries like Russia and China, this is something that poses an existential threat to the American people.
Here's my question. Where the hell is Tulsi Gabbard? Because I haven't seen Tulsi Gabbard in a hot minute. It's almost as if Tulsi Gabbard is hidden behind a door somewhere. And you got to go knock on all the doors. And guess who? Is Tulsi behind this door? Maybe she's behind that door. Haven't heard from Tulsi in a minute. Has she been silenced? Has Donald Trump told her to be quiet? Because Tulsi was never in favor of this intervention in Venezuela or Syria. How low can you go? How low can Donald Trump go? How low can Pete Hegseth go? I guess we'll have to wait to find out. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.